Teddy Long used to be our driver, you know, and because we're up in a snowstorm up in Massachusetts, and I said, Teddy, pull over. I got to take a leak. So he pulls over. I get out. Ron gets out. I get back in. Teddy drives off, and I said, I'm looking at Teddy, and he goes, what? Now he's fed up with us, you know, because me and Ron are drunk, we're being obnoxious, and he goes, what? And I said, that's not funny. He said, what's not funny? I said, leaving Ron on the side of the road. He goes, I didn't leave Ron. He goes, where's Ron? I said, you left him in a snowstorm on the side of the road by the freaking turnpike. Well, you know, on the turnpike, you can't just turn around. You got to either back up or go for miles. So we don't know how far the next one is. We're in a snowstorm. So Teddy backs up on his turnpike to where Ron is. We get back to Ron, and he's standing there with his hand on his hip. He's got snow built up on his head and on his shoulder. He's been there so long. And I'm like, oh, my God. I'm going to witness a murder. This is bad. This is really bad. And Teddy stops about 5 feet from me and goes, tell him I did not do this on purpose. So I roll down the window and snow's just blowing in. I said, he's been laughing about leaving you.
Oh, no.
Ron gets in the car, and he's just sitting there, and Teddy is scared to death, as he should be.
As he should be.
As he should be. And finally I said, guys, listen, let's just get this over with. How about we just pull over and you guys just fight?
Like that.
Teddy goes, would you shut up? We get to the hotel. Teddy never valet parks nothing because he's so cheap.
Yeah.
And so we get to the hotel. He throws the keys to the valet and checks in before we even get out of the car.
He's out. He's gone.
And Ron's still back there. He hadn't said a word. I said, Ron, you know he didn't leave you on purpose. Ron goes, you know, it was cold. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You and Ron got together when as the Acolytes?
As
right?
the Acolytes first.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's
which I never knew exactly what we were, but yeah, that's what. Yeah.
That was quite the tag team there for a while. Y'all were the what's the word I'm looking for here? The let me think how I'm going to put this. Attitude adjusters.
Ron was so funny because Ron would talk over a match. And I go, Ron, you're scaring guys to death. And Ron didn't mean to, but he would go, yeah, now you got that James Earl Jones voice. Y'all. Plus, he's freaking huge, but he's got that deep voice. And go, yeah, you know, when you come in now, I'm going to knock the shit out of you. And then he'd play, now, John's going to knock the shit out of you. And these guys be just looking at him like, oh, my God. I go, Ron, you're scaring these guys to death. He goes, why is that? Never mind, just do it.
That's great.
Ron's the only person I know that could scare you, just like saying the ABCs.
Say hello. Yeah.
A, B. Oh, he's going to kill me.
He's going to kill me.
When I started in the WCW, I just got there. I hadn't had my first match yet, and I was in town, and I went to I don't remember. There's a Skulls gym where we're out by the hotel where we stayed, and I was in there working out. Nobody else is in there really, and Ron walks in. It was what, 89? This is 90, right? No, 89? It's 89, I guess. And like, I'm way down, but I mean, you know who Ron Simmons is, right? Yeah, you just know who he is. He had jeans, cowboy boot, and a newspaper.
In the gym.
That's how he came into the gym.
Yeah.
So I'm like, now I'm waiting. Like I'm gonna wait. Like I don't want to interrupt. You know, this is that real old school mentality when you're a young guy and you don't want to mess. You know. So I'm just going to wait for my opportunity to go introduce myself to Ron Simmons. So Ron comes in. He sits down on the edge of the bench. Well, first he loads it up to 315. He loads it up to 315, and then he sits on the end of the bench. He opens up his newspaper, and I'm like, should I go? He's reading. I'm thinking of every possible reason why I should and why I shouldn't. Closes his newspaper up. He folds it. He puts it down on the end of the bench. Sets on the bench. He does about 15 reps with 315. And you know the kind of reps where the weights are clanging.
They clank and they move.
Yes.
They move. Yeah.
So they're all like that, right? He pops out 15. Sits back up on the end of the bench, picks his newspaper up, reads it a little bit longer. Again, folds it up, he puts it down, lays back down, racks out another 15. And I'm like, oh my, that's the most impressive thing I've ever seen in my life, right? And I said, I've got to go introduce myself. So he racks it, sets up, grabs his newspaper, puts his newspaper under his arm, and walks out of the gym before I could ever get there to say. I was like, what? What did I just witness here?
I used to see it all the time.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
the craziest thing I've ever seen. He'd go in the gym, he'd do a couple sets of bench press, and he'd go, you about ready? No, Ron, I got to work out hard to look this bad. I really need to be in here a while. You don't have to be.
Oh man, I was. Yeah, it's one of those moments where you like, I don't know that I belong here. Right. Is that the standard athlete?
That's right. If that's the standard athlete,
I'm out.
I probably should be working somewhere else.
I might need to pick up a basketball again because
yeah.
I don't know this wrestling thing's going to work out if that's
the standard.
wow, man, he was so impressive.
He still had a rep at Florida State when I went, like in the gym.
Oh yeah,
Like people still talked about him, which is
We
wild.
went out at Florida State. It was still the biggest ovation I ever heard to this day in my
yeah.
life. We were in
Oh, yeah.
Tallahassee, and he walked out. I've never heard anything like in
Oh,
my
yeah.
life. I've never heard anything like
Oh yeah,
The place went nuts
Yep.
for Ron Simmons.
absolute legend. Yeah.
and you know what else about Ron? If you're going to get married, make him your best man and let him speak.
My God, unbelievable!
Holy hell,
Oh my God,
dude!
unreal.
Your wedding.
Yeah.
Ron's the best man, and he cuts the speech of all speeches.
It was unreal. He got a standing ovation.
Oh my God, it was
At a best
amazing.
man speech, and I had to give like a speech afterwards. I'm like, I can't follow that. I'm like, that was the wildest thing. I've ever seen.
It was so incredible.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane.
Yeah, it was. I remember looking at Eddie. Eddie was
Yeah.
there. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
I was like,
Yeah.
did he have somebody write that for you?
right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, just got up, and it was ungodly how good it was. 21 years ago today.
Oh really?
Oh,
Yeah, 21 years ago
Oh,
today. Yeah.
why are you here?
I don't know.
Dang, man. Well, congratulations.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Happy anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the most incredible speech I'd ever heard. It was unreal, and I'm talking, God Almighty, I've got to follow that. That's just,
At my own wedding.
It was kind of bittersweet. Like, dang, man, that's my guy
that's my
right
boy.
there.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
right there.
But he
That's-
just screwed
that's
me
my,
over.
And then it's like,
That's my guy right there. And I'm, oh shit, I got.
and then the shit you got written on a napkin is
That's
like,
right. That's right. You know
yeah.
what? I don't need any
Forget
of that
that.
stuff. We were in a bar one night, and I got into a fight in the corner.
What?
And believe it or not, yeah. And when I did, a bunch of the guys pulled out a bunch of knives, and they had me backed up against the wall. And I thought, shit, I'm gonna die in Canada of all places, like dying in Oklahoma, you know. And I see Ron on the other side of the bar, and he is like a freaking Avenger. He comes running. I mean, running across the bar to save me. And I've got like knives all up. This last thing you want is like the last thing you want to be on my side of the fight. My side of the
Yes.
fight's going to lose badly.
Yeah, bad.
Ron is coming to my side of the fight, and right before he gets there, he grabs a beer bottle off the table. He cuts a promo to this day, the greatest promo I've ever heard in my life, and he ends it with, "I'm going to hit the first white mother that moves." And I thought, yeah, hell yeah. And I thought, I'm the only white mother. And I thought, why would he hit me? And I'm sitting there trying to debate this, and Ron looks around and he goes, "Not you." What? It was like an APA skit, like, "Not you." And these guys looking at us like, these guys are crazy.
Yeah, they're nuts.
They're
No, we
nuts.
don't know.
The guy goes, "Just get them out of here." So we got out of there.
my goodness, man.
Oh, I love it.